you guys are here because someone selected you to go on a list because they see something in you that they want you sitting here to hear what they have to say. So that's a good thing, okay? Now, the panelists, which I'm going to go through soon, these are all Northstar alumni. So at one point, they were in this building walking the same halls as you. The only difference is they are after high school and they have experienced other parts of life, which you're going to hear about today. Now, there's also another common ground, and that common ground is the fact that everyone in front of you has played sports and was a Nottingham athlete. Question? We will have a spot for questions. I promise you you'll get that. But I like the ambition. All right? So, you will have a time at the end that you can ask them questions. And the only reason I do that is because we have to keep this flowing and keep this organized. So I am extremely excited for you guys to be here because I too am an alumni of Nottingham. And there was a point where sports was my whole life, right? I went to Nottingham and I felt like I belonged because I was an athlete. Yeah, I did okay with classes. I did what I had to do to get by, right? But my passion and what made me feel like I belonged as a North Star in this community is the fact I was a student athlete and the fact I put myself in situations to interact with my peers, my coaches, learn, grow, and be that team player. So you guys are here because you are an athlete and you're in that specific situation that I just described. And you have the ability to take advantage of that and to learn, to grow, and to build skill sets that are going to allow you to be such a successful individual in the future. So before I get started, I'm going to have Coach Adams AD Adams come up here to give you guys a few words.
Just want to thank Ms. Persichetti for putting this together because this is an awesome event, and take full advantage of this because the experience that these guys are going to share is going to really hit home for your future, okay? Because they're going to talk about their athletic endeavors, and I can say that I am proud to have coached a large majority, not all, but a large majority of these people over my tenure here at Nottingham. And I'm extremely proud of them for what they are currently doing and what they did here as North Stars. So this is an awesome opportunity for you to gain knowledge from experience. I too was a North Star. Of course, that's when the dinosaurs roamed the earth, okay, way back in the 70s when this was a middle school. But I was a Clocker Road kid just like you, okay? This was my home. Nottingham was my home. It's been my home for a long, long time. So I was privileged to work with these fine young folks here, and I'm just so proud to hear what they have to say and what they're going to tell you, and I'm proud of them, and I appreciate all of them coming out here. So with that, we're here to listen to them, not me, so I'm going to get out of the way and listen up because this is really good stuff today.
So before we have our first speaker start off, I'm going to have each panelist state their first, last name, and what year they graduated Nottingham. If you guys are just coming in quickly, you can grab a sandwich and have a seat. The front row is wide open, so take advantage of that. All right, so I'm going to start right here in the front. Everyone's going to say their name and the year that they graduated Nottingham.
Good morning, everybody. I graduated in 2017. My name is Ken Zufran. I also actually run a nonprofit organization called Creator, which is where I'm wearing this shirt, and it's meant for students like you guys. It's a student self-development organization. It allows students to be encouraged, learn about God, that's something that they're interested in. It also allows them to do community service, whether it's doing community service such as that we did in the winter, putting 220 goodie bags together for the hospital of Trenton, whether it's coming together to have a barbecue, which we're going to have there one summer. So we do a lot of events for students to bring them together and just to help them grow in themselves academically and also spiritually.
Great, and again, we'll continue through, and then Kenley is going to start us off so he can share a little bit more about that. All right, go ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is Chris Williams. I graduated in 2021. My name is Boaz Vadez. Graduated in 2017.
My name is Grace Meyer and I graduated in 2016.
My name is Sarah Haas and I graduated in 2019.
My name is Tyrone Miller. I graduated in 2020. I'm just joking. I graduated in 1995. Yeah, 1995.
Stephen Adams, class of 2014.
All right, great. So for those that just came in, like I said, you're going to leave this event hopefully inspired. And what I want you to, when you listen, I want you to just listen for a piece of information that relates to your life. If someone's sharing and you can't relate, it's okay. I can guarantee you by the end of this event, there's going to be something that spoke to you. And that's what I want you to focus in on. All right, so we are going to officially start the event, and our first panelist today is Kenley.
Good morning, everybody. Once again, my name is Kenley Shafran. Before I get started, I'd like to take the time just to give thanks to Mrs. Riscati and all the staff that helped put this event together. This is amazing. As I mentioned, this is a wonderful opportunity. So please, y'all, take this all in and just really enjoy this experience and try to learn something, get something with you. With that being said, if you've been here more than once, with the Northstar Share, please put your hands up. If you've been here more than once, it's not, wow, okay, a lot of new faces. Wow, okay, a lot of new faces, which is amazing. So if those of you that heard me speak here, I'd like to get everybody pumped up before I get started. So with that being said, please stand up. Come on, y'all, stand up. Stand up. I'm telling you, I like to get everybody pumped up and just go with it, okay? All right, y'all? Y'all too, come on. Ready? Northstar? You know. Yeah! Where y'all been? Northstar? You know. 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 Tap your tongue. Tap your tongue. Tap your tongue. Tap your tongue. Now. Woo! Now we're talking. Everybody up? Everybody relax? All right, all right. Do me a favor. If you're staying in the back row, just move up for me, y'all. Come on, help us out. Move up a little bit for me. Get comfortable. Come on, y'all. Come here. Come on, come on. We don't bite, y'all. Come on. We don't bite. Thank you so much, y'all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow, wow. All right, all right, all right. As I mentioned before, this is a wonderful opportunity. So please, take it all in. Today, I'm going to be talking about self-athletic identity. Let me say that one more time. Today, I'm going to be talking about self-athletic identity. Let's be honest, we all have our insecurities. We all have our strengths, we all have our weaknesses, we all have things that we struggle with as athletes. Today, I want to address those things. But I want to start with a story. Freshman year of high school. I just finished my football season, going through my track season. I was so excited. And I was talking about track is about to start soon. And it was the first day of practice. And just knowing how things went with football, playing football for 8 years. So I had a little bit of, I had a little bit of confidence in my athletic abilities. So when I was walking towards that gym, I felt confident. I was like, man, listen, I know I can run, I know I have endurance, I know I'm fast, I know I'm a good football athlete, I know I can do this. I was excited, I felt good, and I was feeling myself. And then I walked into the room, and then I saw Alex Borzelin, and I saw Arthur, and I saw all these amazing athletes. And I went from feeling myself and walking with a big chest and just, nah, let's go. I got this, ain't nobody gonna stop me. To, whoa, 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 what's going on? And I got scared. I got very insecure. I started questioning whether I should be here or not. I started questioning if I was talented enough. I started questioning if my years of athletic experiences was worth it, was good enough to get me through this. So I got scared and I got very insecure. So there's something that happened to that experience. Again, I started very, very confident, but after I saw everybody else in the room, I started questioning myself whether I was worthy enough to be in this position, whether I was worthy enough to be a track athlete. And I got scared. So there's something about that story that really stands out. And what really stands out is, what changed? What changed from me walking to the room and me entering the room? What changed was my way of thinking, right? First, my way of thinking was positive and very motivating. But because I saw everybody else and to see how talented they could possibly be, I became very insecure. So there's two things about when it comes to the way of thinking that I want to point out, right? What are those two things? Psychologically comparing yourself to other people is one of them. Psychologically speaking to yourself, or verbally speaking to yourself is another way of thinking. And both ways can affect your self-athletic identity, depending on how you go about it. When I walked into that room, at first, again, I was confident, my way of thinking was positive. But after I walked in, it was negative. So, what is it about our way of thinking that really affects us so much? By raising your hands up. Who has ever compared himself to another athlete? Has ever compared yourself so much to the point where you felt so insecure? You felt like you were not good enough. You felt like you were not fast enough, strong enough. Honestly, you felt like quitting, let's be real. And it was hard for you. Look around the room. Put your hands up again. Put it up high. Come on, y'all. Own it. Own it. Look across the room. Look at your adults. Come on, y'all. I can put 2 hands up for God. So as you can see, we all do it. We all compare ourselves to other people. Whether we're good enough, whether we're as fast as them, as strong as them, as talented as them, as built as them, we all do it. It happens. So, bottom line is, you're gonna compare yourself to other people. You're gonna think about that all the time. It's gonna happen. So the problem is not the fact that you compare yourself to other people. The problem is the effect that it have on you. Because again, it's gonna happen. You're gonna feel insecure. You're gonna feel like you're not good enough. You're gonna feel like you're too small. You're gonna feel like you're not fast enough. What effect are you letting those mindset have on you? Are you letting it cause you to quit? Are you letting, because let's be honest, you walked in with a goal. Man, I want to do this sport, and I want to be the best. I want to run this certain time. I want to throw this certain distance. I want to hit that much goals, that much home runs. But when you see everybody else, all your goals for some reason tend to fade away. Oh, wait a minute, I'm not sure if I can do this now. Oh wait, I'm not sure if I can be #1 anymore. Oh wait, I'm not sure if I can actually be a champion. It happens. But when those mindset comes to you, how do you let it affect you? As you can see by raising their hands up, you saw that every single person in this room compares to themselves to other people. Again, it's all about how you allow it to affect you. Now by putting your hands up again, who has ever spoke to themselves and said, man, I suck. I'm horrible, I'm not good enough, I feel like quitting, I shouldn't be here, and just felt insecure. Look across the room, put your hands up high. Look at that, look at that. So as you can see, it happens. You're gonna question yourself psychologically. You're gonna think of the worst things. You're gonna think that you're not good enough, so it happens. But again, once again, it's not the fact that you're speaking to yourself negatively, it's the fact that the effect that you have on you, that's the issue. And it's gonna happen. But you have to remember you're better than that. So when you are speaking to yourself all these negative things, remember the but. I'm not strong enough today, but I'll be strong enough tomorrow. I'm not as good as them today, but I'm gonna keep working. I'm not as fast, but I'm gonna keep driving. Come on, y'all. Again, it's gonna happen. You're gonna compare yourself, you're gonna speak negative to yourself. But you have to remember when it comes to your words, it goes a long way. Whether it's up here or you saying it, it goes a long way. your word can easily become action. If you're thinking of all the worst things about yourself, if you're not careful enough, those things will become action. You're all talented, you're all unique, you all have your own gifts. But if you're stuck on comparing yourself, you're stuck on speaking all these negative things about yourself, again, if you're not careful, those things will come into action. So here's the thing. Man, I suck. Man, I'm not good enough. Man, I can't believe this person's this good. And you keep saying these things to yourself. You know what you're doing? You're putting a weight on your shoulder that does not belong there. Stay with me here. And that weight you're putting on your shoulder is holding you back. So instead of you getting out of that block and running as fast as you can, but because you feel insecure, because you're comparing yourself to other people and saying all these negative things to yourself, now you're slowing yourself down. You see where I'm going with this? So if your mindset is negative, and you're thinking all the worst thing in the world, you're putting a weight on your shoulder that does not belong there. So instead of you hitting the ball as far as you can, or as you're running as fast as you can, because you have that sense of insecurity and those negative thoughts in your mind, or by your words, it's going to hold you back. So I want to encourage you today, take the weight off your shoulder. It's going to happen. You're going to compare yourself. You're going to say all horrible things, but recover by saying all more positive things. Remind yourself that you are good enough. Remind yourself that you are unique. Remind yourself there is no one like you. Remind yourself you are a work in progress. Remind yourself you're just getting started. Remind yourself it's not today and it's tomorrow. And it's going to happen. You're going to feel horrible sometimes. You're going to feel insecure sometimes. You're going to feel unworthy sometimes. But it's not those feelings that's the problem. It's the effect that they have on you that's the problem. So I want to challenge you all today. Next time you're thinking all negative things about yourself, next time you're comparing yourself to other people, to fight back and remind yourself of the positive things that you've accomplished in the past. Because if you're not careful, stay with me here, if you're not careful, you can cancel yourself out before you started. See, if I had listened to my negative thoughts in the beginning when I walked into that room that I'm not good enough, that everybody's faster than me, I could have canceled myself out before I even started. So instead of someday possibly reaching my full potential because I already mentally gave up, that's it. All the full potentials that I've had, I would have never gotten. Yesterday I'm running, what, 212 or 213 or 230. But yesterday I'm not hitting any balls at all. Or yesterday I came and threw out the pitch. Yesterday I came and catch a ball. But that's today. You work hard enough, tomorrow you'll catch every ball that you want to catch. You'll hit every ball that you want to hit. You'll run as fast as you want to run. Again, it's going to happen, y'all. You're going to compare yourself. You're going to say negative things to yourself. Don't be ashamed of it. That's why I had everybody put their hands up and to admit that, hey, we all do it. As you can see, everybody does it. But it is the effect that it happens. That's the issue. I want to leave you with this. Remember to not be too hard on yourself. I know there's a lot of pressure, lots of society pressure from your coaches, from your parents, from each other, and trying to beat each other and be the first person. Do not put so much pressure on yourself. Because we are all a work in progress. Say with me, we are all a work in progress. Come on, y'all. We are all a work in progress. Come on. We are all a work in progress. We are all a work in progress. So when those things are popping into your head, you're comparing yourself, and you're saying all these negative things to yourself, remind yourself that you are a work in progress. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon enough, you are going to be the best. Soon enough, you are going to be as good as you want to be. Soon enough, you are going to be able to run as far as you want to run. Or maybe not today. That's fine. Put in the work. Prove to yourself that you can do it. Because we are all a work in progress. Please stand up for me one time. If you want to close your eyes, feel free to close your eyes. If you don't want to close your eyes, that's fine. But what I'm going to have you guys do is close your eyes and you guys will repeat after me. I am talented beyond measures. Come on, y'all, say it with your chest. I am talented beyond measures. No one can stop me but me. No one can stop me but me. I am good enough. How'd that feel? How'd that feel? That felt good, right? That felt good. That's how you have to do it with yourself. That's how you have to do it with yourself. Because again, all the negative things are going to come. You're going to say all these things. But having the courage to say, yo, I'm actually good enough, that's actually really hard. I'm not going to lie to you. There are times where in my life, it's hard for me to say all these positive things. So let's say one more time as loud as you can. Okay, who hears it?
Let's go. Let them all know.
Y'all ready? I am talented beyond measures.
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 The only person that can stop me is me.
The only person that can stop me is me.
The only person that can stop me is me.
The only person that can stop me is
Come on,
me.
I can't hear you. The only person that can stop me is me.
The only person that can stop me is me.
I am good enough.
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 Thank you.
Here because I want to keep you moving, but Kelly pointed out some really important things. Your mind, right? You can do all of the work and you can put in all of the time, but if it's not right here and you don't believe in yourself, you're your own worst enemy. And that's something Kelly is leaving with you guys today. So remember that when you go to do the next thing, that you have to actually try and work hard, whether it's a test or whether you're standing on the 100-yard dash line. The thing you need to tell yourself is, I can do it. Because it's all mental. If you put in the work, it comes down to having that mental strength. Okay, so our next panelist is actually new to the panel and a more recent graduate of Nottingham. And he's here, he's going to talk a little bit about recruiting. So for those that want to go and play, whether it's at Mercer County, whether it's D3, 2, 1, and you want to play, recruiting is a big part of that. So, Chris Williams.
Good afternoon. My name is Chris Williams. I graduated in 2021. I go to St. Joseph's University in Brooklyn, New York. I play basketball and football at Nottingham. But I just want to say, on recruiting, I know my brother right here, a freshman, and I see some of his friends here. But recruiting, the first stage to me is grades and what you do in school. Now, me, I'll be real. I'm over it. I'll tell y'all, my freshman year, my GPA, y'all can laugh, my GPA was trash, man. Like, I had no chance of going to college at all. Because I wasn't focused, I wasn't serious about school at the time, right? But even if you find yourself like, oh, you're not going to make it, it's never too late to change. I changed everything. I ended up being an honorable student the next 3 years. So what I'm saying to y'all now is, y'all young, y'all still have time to change. First stage of recruiting to me is grades. Y'all got to get y'all grades right. And the second stage of recruiting is happening to you. I know everybody here plays sport, y'all all trying to go to college. That's a dream for everybody. That's a dream for myself and everybody out here. All of our recruiting stages were different. We all went through something different. I'm sure we all different, like, struggles, all that. But my thing is, like he just said, getting overwhelmed and saying you're not good enough. That happened to me a lot during my recruiting because, one, I went through COVID. COVID took over my junior year and messed everything up to me, I feel like. So it was hard for me to go meet coaches, go to visit schools, stuff like that. And it was hard for me to make them connections with the coaches in the schools. I had a basketball coach that wanted to come visit me and come watch one of my basketball games, but because of COVID, he couldn't even come. He ended up cutting me off his list, so I couldn't go to that school anymore. I had football coaches from freshman year to my junior year, and a little bit to my senior year that wanted to, you know, I couldn't have been a part of their program. But, and being honest, football was my always #1 option. Like, I wanted to play football in college. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to play basketball. But my senior year in football, I was getting all these emails back from all these college coaches saying, I just want to see what you could do senior year. And I did good. I caught 2 interceptions my first game my senior year. I was going to go to college for football. But the next 4 weeks, I suffered 2 concussions that made me never be able to play football again. And it's things like that that's going to happen during the recruiting process, where you have to battle adversity and just, next step, what's next after that. So I remember vividly, I'm in a Nottingham High School football game at Ewing my senior year. The play is over. Somebody just running to me straight up, head to head. Boom. I'm going. I'm on the sideline, I'm going up. My mom, she don't play. She rushed me straight to the ER. I got checked, then I went to the brain doctor. Mind you, at this time, I want to go to college to play football. So I'm talking about these football coaches. I'm barely talking to these basketball coaches about going to college. So all my time is in football. Then I remember I had to go to the brain doctor to get checked out with my brain. I had 2 concussions in 4 weeks. And I had one, the first day we did hitting practice, I had one, I caught one the same day. I ain't tell nobody about that. So I really had 3 my senior year. So when I got to the brain doctor, I remember him coming into the room and just telling me and my mom, like, if he ever get hit like that again, like, we don't know what's gonna happen to him. And me being 18, I'm like, Mom, I'm not getting hit like that again. Like, I'm not getting hit like that. I'm good, right? But my mom, she's not playing, so she like, Chris, it's over. I played my last football game right then and there. So I'm a senior. I want to go play football in college. So now I'm like, damn, well, I'm not going to college. And I always had a mindset, and I know it's kind of messed up, but if I wasn't going to college to play a sport, I wasn't going to college. I was never the student that could go to school just for school. It's bad. I changed now. I go to school without, I want my degree bad now. But at that time, at being 18, I didn't want to go to school if I wasn't playing a sport. In all honesty, I probably wasn't. But then my life had to change, and then I had to make more connections. That also comes with recruitment. You gotta make connections to all these coaches and never burn bridges. I had college coaches in basketball that recruited me, but I had to tell them no, I can't go there. I'm going to this school that best fits me. But I did it respectfully, and I never burned the bridge. Just in case I ever want to transfer from that school, I know I could go back to him because he wanted me bad. He wanted me on the team. So me and we still keep in contact to this day. But another thing about recruiting, all your friends, y'all might all be getting recruited, but some people might be going to better schools, some people might be going to lower schools. Don't let that get in the way at night. Playing a college sport is a blessing no matter where you at. JUCO, Mercer, D3, D2, D1. I tell you now, I'm at a D3 school. I love it. I wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world. It's not D1. I'm not doing everything my D1 friends doing, but I'm playing a college sport and I'm getting my degree. That's ultimately all you need, your degree. Once you get your degree, so many doors will open up. So if you see your friends going D1, getting all this D1 attention, that's fine. That's them. God made everybody different. Everybody not gonna have the same path to where y'all want to end up. You know what I'm saying? So I remember.
Chris, 2 minutes.
I got you. I remember senior year, we only had 15 games. Some college in upstate New York. I'm emailing thousands of coaches. Now I'm making all these connections, right? But I'm not hearing back from nobody. And it's like that. You probably email a coach, 100,000 kids probably emailing the same coach that with the same opportunity as you. And that's real. So I finally hear back from one coach, upstate New York. And I remember telling my mom and dad in the living room, Mom, I'm going to college to play basketball. I didn't even read the email yet. I just saw the name and the coach. I said, Mom, I'm going to college to play basketball. And I read the email, and it's a good thing. He told me, yeah, I like what I saw in the film, this, that, the third. But my mom was like, my mom was very top notch. So she was like, I never heard of this school. I don't know what it's like. All that. It's like upstate New York. So I use my resources. I text my coach, Coach Robert. I said, Coach Robert, you know anything about this coach, the school, all that? He said, yeah. I'm gonna be real with you. It's not gonna fit. I had a former player go there, didn't play. Coach lied to him about everything that's going on. So the one email I got back from 100,000 I sent, I couldn't even go there. So now I felt like, dang, I'm not going to college. I'm sorry, I'm not going. But I eventually kept working, kept sending the emails, but I finally heard back from St. Joe's, and it's just a blessing, man, to be able to get recruited. The whole process is going to be, everybody's going to have a different process, man, but it's ultimately a blessing when you get there. Don't get discouraged from anything. You know, like if you're not hearing back, just just send that one more email. If it's not that email, like you said, it's gonna be the next one. You gotta have that mindset. Don't get overwhelmed with anything going on in the recruiting process. And embrace it, enjoy it. Because not everybody get to go through it. Look at how many people in this room, and look how many people in the school. Not everybody's gonna be able to go through recruitment. Not everybody's gonna be able to get to play college. But keep your grades up, use y'all resources. Nottingham has plenty of resources to keep y'all grades up, so use them and thank you.
Last time I saw him at this event, he was sitting in the crowd. So, wow. So, you know, Chris brought up a lot of really good things, right? Don't quit. Say you don't want to go play sports in college. You know how many athletes play sports in college in the United States? 7%. That number's low. And that means Mercer, D3, D2, D1. 7%. You know how many athletes play Division I sports? 1%. So what Chris just talked about was the hard work and the fact he didn't quit. Yes, he's playing Division III basketball, which is amazing, and he's probably learning so many skill sets that are going to help him when he gets that degree, because he talked about how important it is, and he goes out to that real world after college. But he's developing himself, and that's all going to pay off in the end. So remember that. It's not about necessarily the recruiting process. It's so important, and Chris gave us so many important things with that. It's about not quitting and keep trying. I had a very similar story to Chris. I was an athlete at Nottingham. Guess what? I didn't play my senior year. I played 2 games into the soccer season, and I got hurt. I was done the whole year. And I was a 3-sport athlete. So all of a sudden, I had to really work on here because I could no longer go out and get my team points. I had to help my team on the sideline. And that was one of the hardest things I ever went through. But what that taught me was how important teamwork is and how important that person on the sidelines is. So all of the stuff you're going through, and everyone's experience is different, that Chris pointed out, you're learning something. And it's whether or not you're going to take what you're learning and you're going to use it to benefit yourself. Okay, so our next athlete, I actually did have the pleasure, actually I coached Kelly too. There are athletes up here I coached, I didn't say that. So our next athlete is Boaz. And I'm not going to give too much about him, I'll let him talk.
Jeremiah Johnson.
But Boaz is going to talk about facing adversity. All right, so I'll let Boaz take over.
I'm not standing, I'm on vacation. What's up, y'all? As Mrs. Preston said, my name is Boaz Medeiros. I graduated in 2017. I ran track and field here, and then I went to Rutgers University, and then now I just transferred over to, I graduated from Rutgers, I transferred over to the University of Arkansas, where I'm pursuing a master's degree. So I'm in basically, I just completed my 5th year of school, so for those of you who didn't know, you can, it's not just 4 years, sometimes you redshirt or not, so. I've had many injuries, many ups and downs through that time, much like you guys have faced while you were here at Nottingham, and like you'll continue to face early on in the next step of your career. So for me, since this is a new group, I'll kind of breeze through my story again as an athlete, as a track athlete. Here and in college, I dealt with a lot of injuries when I had a lot of promise.
The following 8th grade classes will report to the auditorium. Mr. Stout, Ms. Miller, Mr. James,
Okay,
Ms.
you know what? All right, I'm gonna talk
Wilson,
over it.
A peer
So,
review
yeah,
reporting to the auditorium.
I
Ms.
had
Wiltsey,
a
Ms.
lot
Miller,
of promise.
Mr.
I still
Jean,
believe I
Mr.
do.
Stout, Ms.
But
Wiltsey.
some of the best lessons that I've learned in my time as an athlete, track and field athlete, has been in the lowest points of my career, I would say. It'd be when I was down and out, when I was ready to give up, when things really weren't going my way, and I felt like I couldn't catch a break. For those of you who don't know, in 2018 in a race in Canada, I had a compound fracture in my tibia and fibula. Bone came through the skin and everything. I had to get emergency surgery, and I ended up having to be out for a year. I think that was the first Northstar Share that I came to. The second Northstar Share I came to the next year, after I gave a real encouraging speech about how it's going to be back. I broke my foot, more like my fibula, like the same bone in my leg. So I was out for a little bit, and then that year was a struggle. The third Northstar Share, that was on Zoom.
Yeah.
That was on Zoom. I was in quarantine. I caught COVID. Wait, no, I didn't catch COVID, but I was in quarantine. So there was a lot of, and this one that we're here now for. This year I had a stress fracture in my foot. So I haven't done a lot of competing in my time at college, even though I always felt like I had a lot of promise. But some of the things, some of the intangible skills that I've got from that, like, are honestly priceless, and I really do want to give that to you guys, so you can use them in your life. Some of those things are really that how you have to go about life, because some of the adversity that you'll face is there's nothing that can prepare you for it until you go through it. And a lot of times we go through it the first time, and you have a lot of energy. Okay, I'm going to be back. I'm going to make it back and be able to do all these things, and then that doesn't go your way, and now you experience burnout because you had a goal, you had a mission, and you haven't accomplished it. It doesn't have to be an injury, it could just be a goal that you had, someplace that you saw yourself in 2 years. And then now, when that doesn't come to fruition, you're looking at yourself like, kind of what Kendra said, like, am I good enough? Am I who I thought I could be in this sport, in this career field, so on and so forth. And I think what I've learned is that, and I've heard a lot of people, I've learned this lesson from a lot of people, is that kind of being attached to the result of what you're doing does not necessarily allow you to grow, because your growth is now conditional. It's based on, if I win this race, if I come back in this time frame, if I'm able to accomplish this, and this, if I'm able to be better than this person. As competitors, a lot of times, those are the goals that we set at the beginning of the year. But now when you don't reach those, what's left for you? Is there a reason to keep going? Is there a reason to push forward? And the answer is, if your goals are placed in these tangible things, then no, there's nothing else for you except to try and then potentially get let down. I had to learn that in really difficult ways through my life, as there's been times where I had a lot of promise, and then you deal with an injury that takes your mind off of all the things that you said you were going to set out to do. But through that, what I have had to learn is through rehab and through recovery, through having to constantly be let down again when you're trying to reach that goal, is that it's the process that teaches you the skills. It's the process that you earn your victory from. It's not necessarily the result, because when you're moving through life and there's challenges that come and you get rerouted, sometimes the goal that you had is not attainable anymore. But there's a pivot that happens. For me, in high school, I had a similar story to Chris, where I had a concussion, and I had several at the time. And then I remember having to sit down with Coach Adams when I thought football was really for me, and him saying, I think this is done for you. Like, that conversation happened. And I was heartbroken, because in in my mind, growing up, like I could only see myself playing football. But that opened up a whole nother door for me to run track. And it wasn't that in that moment I knew that something else better was around the corner. You couldn't have told me that I would have found something else. But through that, I was able to find track and be able to meet all the wonderful people that I've met. I was able to travel the country based on something unfortunate that happened to me. But the reason that happened was because the skills that I learned and that I used to work on my craft, it didn't just disappear when the result left, the result that I wanted. You know what I mean? And that kept happening through and through my life. So I really just want to leave you guys with the fact that being able to take some of the negative things that happen in your life, some of the letdowns, and not letting it derail you from the process of improving, the process of being better, the process of pushing yourself forward, because there really is something on the other side. But I can't tell you that if you're hurt right now. You don't want to hear that. If you're injured and you're out for the season, all you see is that you're letting the team down. All you see is that you're missing recruiting opportunities. All you see is you're not going to achieve your goal. And it's the same for me. And each time I get hurt, I have to relearn the same exact process again. It's not like I have some magic formula. It's not, you know. It's really having to be honest and relearn some of the things that you feel like you had a grasp of. So, yeah, I think I'll leave you all with that. Keep pushing, keep grinding. Not everything's gonna happen the way that you plan, but at the end of the day, if you take some of the intangibles that come from dealing with adversity, you'll end up somewhere far better.
So much of what Boaz said is powerful, because what happens is, in life, you're going to be presented with a challenge, guaranteed, guaranteed. You're not going to know necessarily what that challenge is going to be or when it's going to come. And when you're in that challenge, you're going to be pushed out of your comfort zone. You're probably not going to be happy. You're going to be wondering, what the heck is going on? Why do I have to go through this? This is not what I wanted. This is not my journey. And what ends up happening is when you get through the storm, right? When you get through that storm, you look back and you say, holy cow, that's why that happened. Now I'm stronger. Now I have a new journey. Now I've learned something new. But the biggest part about the challenge is getting through it. Because you can, you just have to be that strong to do it. And when you get out the other side, you're going to say, I understand now. I get it. I understand why that was presented to me and why I had to go through that. So thank you, Boaz, so much. I'm going to have Grace share. I'm going to talk about Grace for 1 second. And then we're going to quickly have someone come on that camera there. Prostitute, who I'm going to talk about before she comes on that TV right there. But first, Grace. All right, so I love everyone up here. I have very special, no, I wasn't saying that. So I have a unique relationship with Grace, and this is why. I was so fortunate to be put in a situation where I was not just Grace's head coach for 1 season, I was Grace's head coach for 3 seasons, for 4 years. That is a very unique situation. That means I was with Grace in the fall, in the winter, in the spring, and I developed a relationship with her. I developed a very close relationship with her mom, and we worked together to get Grace to be the #1 distance runner in the state of New Jersey, which is crazy because winning the 2-mile to me champs, you had to put in a ton of work. Not downplaying any other event, but She won first place in the whole state of New Jersey for the 2 mile, and I was there to experience that with her. And then that was her junior year. And what Boaz was talking about happened to Grace her senior year. What I was talking about happened to Grace her senior year. That challenge, that adversity, that, oh man, here's the injury, what are you going to do with it now? And she handled it. And I'm not going to share anymore because I'm basically talking for her. But Grace texted me, I texted Grace this week, and we were trying to get her to come, and she had some other obligations she had to do, and she texted me yesterday and said I could make it. So honestly, I don't even know her topic. And I thought to myself as I looked at my agenda, I forgot to ask Grace her topic. But she's going to share that with you. So Grace Dwyer.
I was thinking about, kind of reaching out with Kenley is discussed in his motivational speech. You're very good at it. But I want to talk about comparison. So I was fortunate and blessed enough to go on to the Division I level for 6 years. So I went to a small school in South Carolina called Furman, and they have a really good running distance program. They put all of their money into distance runners. And when I was getting recruited, they wanted to kind of build the program up. And during my time at Furman, I went to nationals twice for cross country, and we placed as a team top 10, and I was a scorer, which is really, it's a very good thing for a program to kind of go from the ground up. But, being a Division I athlete, you face a lot of different things you might not think you find yourself in. And so when you get to Division I running, there's a million other Grace Dwyers out there, and I was on a team full of like 10 people who were at my level. So obviously comparison comes into your mind, and thinking you're not good enough kind of creeps in your mind. And I struggled with that for, I would say, the first 2 years of my college career. I was just trying to find my way and finding my way on the team and how I fit in. And so my sophomore year, I had a femoral neck stress fracture in my leg, so it's pretty much like right up here, and I was out for the track season, and I was trying to get back into being on a team, and so I came into my junior year in the fall, cross country being ready to go, but it turns out I had a medically redshirt that because I was still recovering from this big injury that I got. And I think at that point is when I let go of the comparison and ran with joy and freedom and just let go of that I have to be a certain way or I have to hit a certain time to be good enough. I think taking comparison takes the fun out of what you like to do. So if you find yourself comparing yourself to another teammate, I encourage you to let that go and just enjoy the gift that you have. Because being a college athlete or being a high school athlete, this is such a unique time in your life. This is the time to be an athlete and before you become an adult in the real world or whatever. So I encourage you to let go of comparison and fully embrace the sport and take advantage of the resources. You have your coaches who are full of knowledge. You have teammates who help you along and take advantage of what you have. And being at Nottingham for 4 years was really a blessing because I have so many people in this room that I still think about and to this day, and they've taught me so many life lessons that I'm taking with me now as I'm jumping into being in the real world. And so after Furman, I ended up pursuing my master's degree at Liberty University. And so Furman was a great school, but it was really competitive. But coming to Liberty kind of was like a second chance for me to fall in love with running again. And since being at Liberty, and I was surrounded by teammates and coaches who encouraged me in different ways. I feel like I found a new passion for running, and I was able to run faster than I did at Furman and drop a lot of my time. It took me 6 years to get a new 5K PR, or a 1500 PR, but I'm glad I stuck it through and didn't just stop after 4. I decided to keep going because at one point during my sophomore year, there's no way I'd ever go to grad school. But I ended up getting a master's. I just got my master's degree now, and running has certainly brought up a lot of opportunities. So letting go of that comparison and just having fun with the sport has opened up many other doors in my life. And even now that I'm done with school and done with college running, I'm excited to keep running and pursuing I don't know, other endurance sports. Like, you're sitting in this chair now, and you're, with whatever year you're, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, Nottingham is a special place, and I really encourage you to make friendships and, talk to your teachers and make connections that will stick with you for the rest of your life. So thank you for coming, and
All right, so the next athlete, so at 1:30, Hoff is going to come on there. So I'm going to go ahead and have Sarah share. So the next athlete is also someone I have a very unique relationship with. And if you guys know Sarah, you may not know this. Well, Sarah is my cousin. So we have my dad is her mom's brother. So we're related. And I had the pleasure of teaching my cousin. I also had the pleasure of watching my cousin go through this Northstar community just like myself. I never got to coach her. I tried. She thought it was lacrosse was it rather than track. But she's doing lacrosse in college, so I guess it was it, right? So we have Sarah. She is currently doing 2 sports at a Division III school, so she's going to talk a bit about time management. Okay, Sarah.
So I go to Eastern University, it's in PA, and like she said, I'm a 2-sport athlete. I play basketball and lacrosse, so managing my time is like something really that I have to take really important, and it's not easy. So going into my freshman year of college, the biggest adjustment for me was coming from high school, going to school 8 o'clock to 2 p.m. and then going to college. You have only 2 or 3 classes a day, so you really have a lot of free time. So when you first go for the first week, you're going to get a syllabus from each class, and you're going to look at it and see all these assignments due, and you're going to think to yourself, I'm never going to get all this done. I don't know how I'm going to do it all. So what I did for me and what I think was most helpful was I got a planner and I put all my assignments in the planner. And then I have a calendar, Google Calendar on my phone. You put all your practice times and your lift and class, whatever else you have to do, so you can look at them side by side. Because if you're trying to look at it all at once, like they said, you're going to get overwhelmed and it's going to stress you out. But if you just do one thing at a time, it'll all work out. The other thing that I found really helpful was to get into a schedule and a routine. So right now you guys are going to school all day, and then probably after school you have practice and then homework. When you go to college, you might have 6 a.m. lift and then 8 a.m. class or an 11 a.m. class, and then you might be done for the day until practice. So what you want to do is, because with all that free time, you're gonna get distracted. You're gonna want to take a nap. You're gonna want to watch Netflix, catch up on a TV show, hang out with your friends. It's important to get into a schedule and follow that schedule so that you don't get behind or procrastinate. So what I do is the night before every day or the day before, I look at what I have to do for the next day. So I'll write it down if I have 6 a.m. lift and then 8 a.m. class and then practice. I write down what is when and then what I can do in between. So what assignments I can do. And I just find that helpful because as you do it, you can cross it off and then you won't fall behind or not turn something in or forget that it was due. And you want to get into a schedule because when you're going through your days and your practice and your class, you'll forget to do stuff. So for me, something I struggled with was I would go out throughout my day, I would go to class, go to lift, and you forget. For me, I would forget to oh, I have to eat lunch, or oh, I should probably eat before practice or eat. You'll get so into what you're doing, you'll forget. And I think it's important to get into a schedule and follow that schedule so you remember. So you get the right amount of sleep. Go to bed before 12 and wake up at 9. Because when you go to a game or a practice, you need your body to be fueled right so that you have the correct amount of sleep and the correct amount of food so that you can perform in your games. And if you're not, fueling your body or getting the correct amount of sleep is not going to help you. And then the last thing I think was the most important was using your resources. So as Chris said, like, there's a bunch of resources you can use. The one I found most helpful for me was the library. And when I went in freshman year, I told myself, like, I'm never going to the library. Like, why would I go to the library? I just go do my stuff in my dorm. But your dorm is probably like the biggest, like, there's so many distractions. Like I said, you're going to go back to your dorm after class and you're going to want to take a nap. I will say, like, I do that a lot. I probably take a nap every day. But you can do it and still get your work done. So if you go back to your dorm, there's going to be like, you're going to get distracted. You're going to lay in bed, start watching a TV show or hang out with your friends. But if you like put a time, set a certain amount of time aside to go to the library and do your work, and there's study rooms and everything, if you get your work done, you will still have time to like hang out with your friends or watch that TV show or take a nap. And it's just important to use all your resources that they have. So even like the tutoring center, like I know a lot of people, I know for me, I was like embarrassed to go to the tutoring center because I don't, like, I'll just figure this out on my own. I don't need the tutoring. But it actually is so helpful. Even last semester, I was taking a physics class, and I could not figure out any of the homework. And I remember I was calling some of my cousins, and I was asking my mom.
I didn't get a call.
None of them knew how to do it. It was these physics problems that no one knew how to do. I tried to look them on Google, no one from nowhere. And I just spent all this time, I would be up till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning trying to figure out this homework problem that was due the next day. And it wouldn't be good because I would wake up the next morning so tired. And eventually I did, my mom convinced me to go to the tutoring center. And it was probably the best idea because once you go to the tutoring center, there's people that are there to help you. Everyone's there to help you. They know how to help you. They know what you're going through, and it's just saved so much time. And I just wish I went so much earlier. So I would just say use your resources. And then the last thing is when you go to college, you're going to have to advocate for yourself. So when you go, you're leaving your parents, you're leaving your family. You're kind of on your own. And when you're not going to have people waking you up in the morning, like your mom or dad or someone coming in and say, come on, like, get ready for school. You're going to be late. You're going to miss class. When you go to college, you're on your own. So you have to set your own alarms. You have to get up for yourself. No one's going to come, like, beg you to go to class. Like, if you don't go to class, it's your own issue. And if you're not going to class, your clothes will end up finding out. And it'll just cause a whole other issue. So it's just, you have to learn how to advocate for yourself and set your own alarm and just live your life on your own. Because it's just what you have to learn how to do. And you want to start setting a routine now and getting into a schedule so that when you do get to school, you're prepared and you're ready for it.
Okay, so I know it starts to get long, right? You got to stay engaged. And we got 1:30, we're going to have a little, someone come on the TV right there, she's going to talk for 10 minutes. Then we got 2 speakers to finish this, to wrap it up. They're probably going to go solid 15 minutes, but stay with us because we got some good stuff. Now, I just recap. So at 1:30, Hawk's going to come on. Let me say a couple things. Then you have about 3 minutes to grab another hoagie if you want, a water, and get back to your seats or just stand up for a second. And then at 1:30 again, I'm going to have her come up. I may have to hold the microphone to the speaker, so just don't mind that. But with time management, I want to say this before you can get up and get on TV. Time management is so important, right? Discipline is so important. Discipline can be used in every aspect of your life. As an athlete, as a student, as a brother, as a sister. You can use discipline in every aspect of your life. Doing the right thing, making sure you show up, giving your all, okay? It's when you start forgetting about that and you're just going through the motions and you're not really focused and you don't have the discipline that you need, that you're not going to become the best version of yourself and you're not going to achieve the things you could achieve if the discipline was there. And that's something sports teach you. Now, whether or not you take the lesson and you use it is another story. But I know the Nottingham coaches, I know our athletic director, and I know that that is something that is preached to you guys. Discipline. Be to practice on time. Be to class on time. Right? It's not just practice. We're a student first, athlete second. So if you are concerned with being on practice on time, guess what? You better be concerned about being to class on time, because that represents you. And that's about the discipline that you need. Because you get to class every single day on time, you develop a habit. That habit then is used in other aspects of your life. Does anyone know how long it takes to develop a habit? About 2 weeks. Okay? Boaz might have some research I'm not sure about. But, right. But about 2 weeks. Boaz said 21 days. He may be accurate. He's currently pursuing his master's. 2 weeks, right? So if you do something for 2 weeks, 21 days, somewhere in between, you're going to start developing that habit. And we need you guys to do that, because guess what? When you leave here, like Sarah said, you're on your own. Whether it's in college, whether it's in the military, whether it's working, you're on your own. And you have to have that discipline, because that's what's going to make a difference in your life. All right, so you guys can get another order if you want it. Sandwiches. I'm going to get Hop ready to go up here.
How do I? Yeah, but how do I stop it? Press the big red button again.
Leone in the Olympics, and since then she has really blossomed and made a very successful career of motivation and empowerment, female empowerment. So even though this is going to be a little odd on the TV, I thought it was really important, because Hafsa still lives in California. All right, she's currently in Atlanta right now, but she just does live in California. And one day, we're going to make sure she comes back physical form to Nottingham, but we're still working with it, and I thought it was very valuable. So she's going to talk about 10 minutes, just because it's on the TV and stuff. And then we have 2 speakers to wrap the end up. All right, so here we go.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, great. Thank you, Ms. P, Mr. Platt, for the introduction and the whole setup. I'm excited and honored to come back and speak at Northstar Share. So yeah, my name is Hafsa Kumar. I attended Nottingham a long time ago, 2010, graduate. So when Ms. P reached out to me and, I was like, would I like to share again? Of course. I was like, I'm always down to give back and spread some wisdom and, share my experience. But, I had to think of what topic do I speak on this time around? Like, what have we experienced? What, words and feedback that I share with you guys in regards to what's been going on now and how it can impact you in the future. And a thought for me that came around was Willy Wonka. Have any of you guys seen the movie Willy Wonka? With the golden ticket? Okay, so as it goes, Willy Wonka wanted to have someone inherit his business, his chocolate factory, so he put a golden ticket into random chocolates, and whoever had a golden ticket was invited to come back and go through all these different challenges in order for them to win this prize of owning his company. And as you think about it, most of the time we think the golden ticket is graduating from high school, or graduating from college, or getting that job. So we work hard in order to receive that golden ticket. But sometimes, you have to realize, like, just because you work hard, just because you receive that golden ticket doesn't mean it's a guarantee. Who studied so hard before and like completely digested themselves, stayed up late into studying for an exam, and they're going to take an exam and they vomit. Has anyone had that happen to them? they really worked on something really, really hard and still didn't see that success that they wanted to see. That's the difficult of life. That's the trials and tribulations of life. But the good part out of that is the risk taking. In those moments, you're taking a risk to push yourself outside of your comfort zone. You're taking a risk to see beyond the limitations of just saying like, okay, I'm going to take it, but I want to see if I can push it even further. And for me, that risk taking was not just the opportunity to compete for the Olympics, but to compete for Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone is a country that's, as far as resources and, being able to actually provide for their people and for their athletes is very hard. So I took a risk to go and represent my country and represent my people in a way where, puts them on the map. And throughout life, you're going to come across opportunities where you might not see the full success, but the risk that you take is going to continue to build your character, build your discipline, and impact those around you that are watching you, even if you don't see them watching. So like, another aspect as far as like risk-taking and life-taking in my life was realizing like, I went to school for exercise science, I went to college for exercise science. I applied for a job for marketing. Like, I have no experience in regards to digital marketing. I have never taken a class as such, but I took a risk to step outside of my box, out of my comfort zone, to explore an opportunity where I felt like I could have more freedom, I could tap into my creativity, and then be able to encourage the community in where they're currently at, which is social media. And with that, able to find opportunities, not only developing small businesses, but currently why I am based in Atlanta is because I'm actually working for Overtime Elite. Does everyone know what overtime is? Overtime record? So Overtime Elite is the basketball team. We're professional high school basketball players are here, and I'm part of the marketing team for that. New venture, high risk, startup company, completely new, rebranding how sports is being taken, and honestly falls in line with the trajectory that I've set for myself in the beginning, is in that I'm always going to look for opportunities to push myself outside of my comfort zone, to explore what I can do, to explore what other adventures are out there by taking a risk. And my advice to you is to fall into those opportunities. Like, golden ticket is wonderful, but also see where the risk lies. Smart risk taking, see where those risks lie, and be open to that. That's my take.
Okay, Hop, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I just want you to know that you were loud, clear, and everyone was engaged. So thank you, because I know that this is difficult. Thank you so much for coming and for sharing to, your Northstar community. For those, Hop said she graduated a long time ago. I did coach her, so I don't know if that's a good thing. But man, what an athlete. And if anyone has Twitter, which is a great, real quick with social media, guys, remember, that's a representation of yourself. So if you're on social media, use it in a positive way. So what I'm going to say with that is I'm on Twitter, right? And I use Twitter to broaden my scope as an educator, okay, my profession. And Hop is on Twitter, and Hop is on Instagram. And she would be an amazing role model to follow. So I tagged a bunch of the panelists who had Twitter on my Twitter account, @Miss_person_Ketty. So if you guys have Twitter, using it in a positive way, follow these role models. Because the stuff Hop puts out is so inspiring. I'm inspired. I want to go run a mile and get myself back in shape when I'm looking at her stuff. But it's so inspiring and empowering, and it's what you need in your life. Not the negative stuff.
Yeah.
You need the positive stuff.
I also wanted to show you guys both, because I'm actually in my office.
The following ninth period classes are reporting to the auditorium. Mr. Fleck, Ms. Costello, Ms. Miller, Mr. G, Mr. Stout, and Mrs. Wiltsey.
But as I mentioned, risk taking. So this is something that, you know, even with our athletes, even with our staff, everyone here is taking a risk by continuing with this project. We're redoing the floor right now, but this is what our show court looks like. And everyone here, from the athletes to the staff, is taking a risk in building something that's never been done before. And it all comes with wanting to push yourself outside of your limits. So, like Ms. P was saying, if you guys have any questions in regards to sports, in regards to marketing, business, just mindset, social media, upping your game and anything, reach out. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, Facebook too, not so much, but send me a message and I will definitely be there to connect and help you guys through it.
Probably later today, I'll shoot you a text, but I appreciate it so much, and I know that the Nottingham community appreciates it as well. So thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Yes, we did it. Teamwork, right there. Yes. So again, if anyone's entering, help yourself to some food and water. It's still there. So we have 2 speakers left, 146. We're rocking it with the time frame. I'm so happy. That was the one thing I was nervous about, other than the camera. But we're good. So Hop just displayed to you that calculated, educated risks are good. Okay? And when we say educated risks, we mean don't just start taking risks just for the heck of it without thinking things out, without putting in the work, right? But you would be surprised if you put in the work and you take the risk, what's on the other end of it. Don't sell yourself short, right? And that's what risk taking is about. Because all of you guys have the capabilities to be just like Hop. Like, how cool is that, right? An athlete, she's living a dream right now. And we just got to see it. So don't sell yourself short with whatever you decide to do after Nottingham. And start now. Get to class on time. Start now. All right? All right, so the next speaker, all right? Now, I did not go to school with the speaker, but I've connected with the speaker because he is so empowering and so motivating, all right? He does team health initiatives, an organization that deals with mental health, and I follow his work on these social media platforms because, again, it's positive stuff he's putting out there to the world on social media. Positive. So I'm not going to talk anymore, but Tyrone Miller.
Today, I'm talking about life lessons I learned from high school sports. How many of you guys play high school sports? Raise your hand. I know that was a joke, y'all. Everybody raise their hands. I'm glad y'all did. I knew y'all, that's why y'all here. But I'm gonna keep this quick on this one thing. But one lesson I learned, the biggest lesson I learned, I want you guys to all pay attention. Let me see all your eyes. Let me see the eyes. I was a track athlete. I went to Mercy. I was a discus thrower. Didn't see that coming, did you? I don't look like these cats. I was a track athlete. What y'all trying to say? Track and field, baby. There's 2 parts to it. I was a field thrower. I threw the discus. I was pretty good. I had the school record here for like 2 years. It was amazing. Then somehow Troy Johnson came along and broke it. Shout out to him. But he broke it in 1997. I only had it for 2 years, but I felt good when I left. But I wanted to play other sports. I wanted to play football. The potential football coach would have been, bam, that guy right over there, right? And this is the best lesson, and I'm going to tell you the ups and the downs of it all. So, my senior year, my mom wanted me to learn responsibility. Because when I was sitting in the chairs that y'all in, I was not the guy I am now. Now I'm responsible. I got all these good things going for myself. When I was in that chair, I was lost. I didn't have much self-awareness at all. Who knows what self-awareness is? That means who you are. You know who you are. Not what the world thinks, not what your friends think, not what your parents think, what you think of yourself and who you are in that self, right? I didn't have much self-awareness at that time. I just was going all over the place. A lot of y'all can relate? Yeah? You can relate to that. I know you can. You don't gotta admit it now in front of everybody, but I know inside, you're like, man, I don't really know who I am. Walking around, you a little lost, right? You don't know if you want to go to college. You don't know if what type of car you want. You don't know where you're going right now. You're just like, man, I'm going to college, but everybody tell me to go to college, right? You get a job. I mean, my mom said if I don't go to college, I gotta get a job or go to the army, right? You gotta do something. Once you graduate, you gotta have a plan. And a lot of y'all right now don't have a plan. That's totally okay. But my problem was I like to be out. I like to, mingle, be social. I was popular. Had a bunch of friends. I'd be all over the place. In Mercer County, all over. Every football game I went to, even though I wanted to play, which is the thing I want to touch on, I went to all these football games, didn't play. I never played for one game in Nottingham High School, and I should have. I went to spring camp. I went to summer camp when I was a sophomore. I was good. I was ready to go. I think I had a starting spot. He could tell you if I did or not. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I did. I'd have beat out Jason Parkman, but it was close. But senior year, I said, you know what? I'm going to come back, and I'm going to make sure I get a spot. Boom. So senior year, my mom said, you're not very responsible, Tyrone. So what I'm going to do for you is I'm not buying you no school clothes. Yeah, exactly. But I'm popular. I got to have my sneakers right. I got to look a certain way when I come in school. Forget football. I got to look right first, right? Can y'all relate to that? A lot of y'all can relate to that. I don't care what y'all saying. Y'all got $200 sneakers, $300 sneakers. Some of y'all, look, man, Crocs is like $50. Crocs ain't supposed to be $50. You know what I'm saying? So, my senior year, I worked all summer. And before I left, because my gym teacher was Coach Adams, or AD Adams, said, you better beat it. Y'all probably got the older, more friendly Adams. I got the, you better have your blank at head. All right, man, I'm going to be there, man. Had no intentions of going. And he probably knew that. So, in the camp, I roll up. This is like a week before school. I had tinted windows, I had rims on my car because I worked all summer. I was balling out, baby. I cut my volume up, rolled on the track, bam, had my car out front, like, yeah, baby. They all was running, I was just standing out there like, I look at them, they're crazy. They all running, man. Boop, 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 boop. I'm literally driving to practice, beat my home, boop, 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 yeah. Walk up, like, they in the middle of practice. I'm just walking up, coach, ready to play. You remember what you told me?
Quite a while ago.
I was there. I graduated in '95, y'all. Don't disrespect me. I'm young to my age. That's what my cousin told me earlier. So I walk up to him and he says, "Didn't I tell you to come to camp?" I said, "Yeah, man. But I'm here now. I'm ready. Let's go. I'll be here tomorrow if you tell me. All I gotta do is get my uniform, get all my stuff, get my pads." So walked off. Couldn't play. And right. So that's my number one thing that I'm getting to. Right. So I couldn't play. And it meant something to me. I wanted to be on the team. Mind you, the year before this, the team had went to the state playoffs for the first time in school history. Shout out to that other team that won the state championship, whoever y'all here, but whatever. First team, oh, my fault. Sorry about that, y'all. I knew he was somewhere around here. So, the year before, first team in school history to go to the state playoffs. I said, man, next year we gonna kill it. Talked to all my boys was playing. They're like, T, man, you gotta come. I said, man, I ain't going to camp because I gotta work, and I got to pay this car, I got these rims, boom. So I didn't go. And I figured, and so after I go that day, they come to me after the practice was over, because I drove like half of them home. I met them I don't know if it's like this now, but if you go back to the field by the gym and you walk through, it was a little entrance right there on that one side street. So I would just go park over there, they walk to the car, and drive home, and they said, look, man, you said you can't play, but I think if you go, you beg them, you can play. Right? Does that sound feasible to y'all? That sound like, you know what, maybe he would let him play, Do you think, I'm going to take a poll, how many people here think he let me play? Well, y'all gave the answer way already. But it wasn't up there. I already told you I ain't play football, so you got to pay more attention, man. I'm messing with you. So I never went to ask. You know why? I I didn't have this thing I was talking about earlier, self-awareness. I was so caught up in I want to look nice, I want to I want to mess with girls, I want to do this, I want to go everywhere. Because what is football? What is sports? Y'all ain't, I'm going to give it to you. It's a sacrifice. Unless you love it, and it's everything, you got to have balance in your life. But any sport you play, it is a sacrifice on your life. It takes something away from the existing life you have. You got a bunch of friends, you got girlfriends, you got video games, you got stuff you want to do, you want to get a job, you want to have money. Sports is a sacrifice. Do we all agree with that? Can I get a yeah? Yeah, it's a sacrifice. You gotta, sometimes you don't want to go to practice. Sometimes you go to practice, you're dead tired. Like, man, I don't want to be here at all. This is some bull. But you're there. So it's a sacrifice. And that sacrifice is something I wasn't willing to make when I was a senior in high school. Right? So, long story short, I never begged him to go back and play. I said, man, I don't need that, forget it. Now, as a 45-year-old man, one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made in my life, I regret it. I have 2 regrets in my life. I'm not going to tell y'all the other one, so don't regret it. I ain't going to tell y'all that. But this first one right here, it's a regret that I have, and I will share it with anybody that's willing to listen, because the regret was, the regret was I didn't do it. But the reason for the regret, because I didn't have self-awareness. I didn't know what was important to me. Right? And a lot of you guys, you don't have to tell me, you don't have to raise your hands, but I know you don't exactly know what you want to do right now. You're just like, I don't know. I'm going to do this college thing because that's what everybody tells me to do. I'm going to get this job. I'm going to try to be somewhat successful in my life, some kind of way. And that's a lot of pressure. Real talk, full disclosure, I cried the day after my high school graduation. I was the man in high school. High school was good. I had to come to school every day for the last 2 semesters. Didn't get to go to senior skip day. Because, again, I had to get up and go to school, but I didn't do it. I was late every day. I had first period study hall. And I don't know if it's still like this now. It was like this when y'all went. First period study hall, my thinking was, if I don't go to first period study hall, it's not a class. What can they do to me? But if you get a certain amount of lates, that means it counts as an absence. 5, this is what it was when I went to school, way back. 5 absences led to 1, 5 lates led to 1 absence. And I was at the point where I was late every day. I just didn't care. I was coming in late. Oh, I don't have the class. And I would come in, and boom. At the end of that, I had to come the last 2 months of school. I was here, we graduated on one day, I had to come the day after, because I wasn't sure. It wasn't going to stop me from getting my diploma. My mom would have killed me. So, number 1, sacrifice. Sacrifice, sacrifice, sacrifice. As you get older, moving forward in your lives, it is the number 1 thing that will be imperative to your success and your failure. You cannot have it all. I know you guys heard that before. You can't have it all. In your life, you have to know, that's why self-awareness comes in. You have to choose what you want to do with your life. You have to choose what you want to do with your time. And once you choose that thing, because you're self-aware, you know what you want, then you sacrifice for what you want. And that means maybe you don't go outside at night and chill. Maybe you get a good night's rest. Maybe you eat better. Maybe you help mom with stuff because mom has to buy your cleats for your team, because if you don't have these cleats, you're not going to be able to play at a proper level. Sacrifice, because you all have loved ones, and I'm sure they sacrifice for you. Miss Persichetti, she sacrificed just to make this thing happen. You guys agree? You think we all just popped up and said, you know what, we should all go to Nottingham on this same day, same term, and we're just going to be here. Now, you know, I think they should bring food. No, somebody has to put that together. That requires sacrifice. That's not a part of her job. She doesn't get paid to do this. I mean, she gets paid to inspire you guys, but she doesn't get paid to put on extracurricular stuff. And this, that's why self-awareness for you all is imperative. You guys following me? I see that serious silence like I'm talking to my kids right now. They're like, oh, yeah, you saying some real stuff. Yeah, that's real. And number 2, the other thing I'm going to bring to y'all right now is how you attack life. I didn't learn this in high school, but I learned it from the lesson Coach Adams taught me. And again, I want to thank you, brother, because that was an imperative life lesson that changed my life for the better. Because since then, I worked in music business. I have like 5, 6 gold platinum plaques in my house because I worked at Lava Records, which is under Atlantic Records. I was in meetings with Jay-Z, dead serious, not even bragging. Just like Jay-Z was right there. I was sitting here. We didn't talk, but we was in the same meeting together. Tell me that ain't impressive. Who you know been in a meeting with Jay-Z besides me? You been in a meeting with Jay-Z? Oh man, I didn't know, man. Like, congratulations. We'll talk about that later. All right, appreciate you. But I've done a bunch of dope. I won a reality show. I hosted a news web show on a newspaper in Trenton. I had 5 years. I was on cover once a week for 5 years. Mind you, I don't have a college degree. Never been in journalism. Matter of fact, let me show you another little thing here. Now this book, it was written by me. Wrote a book. How do you feel about that? Ain't that crazy? Like that? You thought, hey, everybody up here, do you think I'll be the one writing the book? Nah, man. I'm not supposed to be that guy, but I'm that guy because I'm self-aware. I know I'm a doer. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what y'all think. I don't care what nobody in this school think. I'm going to do what I want to do as long as it's positive. And that's where I'm at in my life now. But for y'all, you see how I come. I'm sweating right now. You see it, right? Because I attack whatever I do. There's no real pussyfooting around it. Like when I go in, I go in. If I decide I'm going to play basketball, I'm going to be the best possible basketball player I could be. I'm going to maximize my talent. Maybe I'm not going to make it to the next level. I mean, this is hypothetical because I'm not playing basketball now. I would never. But anything I do in my life, I make sure I maximize it. That's why this book got done. You know when this book got done? Quarantine. Because I couldn't go to work. I would work from home. What are you going to do, dude? And I think I'm going to write a book. And wrote it. Because I'm going to maximize my talent. It might not be the best book. I don't care who buys it. I don't care if you buy it or not. It ain't for you. It's for me. Sound crazy? Y'all have it. I'm dead serious. Like I told you a second ago, I don't care what any of you think of me because I know who I am. And you cannot have this feeling that I have if you don't know who you are. So self-awareness. Self-awareness. I was on that football field looking like this, like, hey, coach, man, I'm ready, babe. And he said, nah, you ain't ready. Life lesson that I will never forget, and it's pushed me to be successful in every other thing I did, because I'm like, I don't want that feeling. Because at the time, I couldn't admit it. Because y'all in high school, y'all probably go through all types of bad feelings you don't want to feel right now, and you just say, no, I'm sorry, it's so good, I don't even care. You care. You get an F and you try, you care. You get a C when you're trying for an A, you care about it. You don't have to say nothing. I'm looking in your eyes. I see it. I see y'all. It's okay. Everybody goes through that. Self-awareness, sacrifice. Third thing I have, closing out, that I learned from high school sports. Can I get that Northstar chant that wasn't around in 1995, yo. I don't even know how it went. Say it again. Northstar? 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 That wasn't around when I was in 95, that wasn't a thing, but I'm glad it's here. Third thing is enthusiasm. Like, I told you, I do what I want, I attack it, and I do it with enthusiasm. I'm not going to come here and halfway. I'm going to give you everything I got. I'm going to attack it with enthusiasm. I'm going to attack it like I want to be here. Right? And a lot of you guys, your generation, you have phones in your hands, you're distracted. Like, y'all agree? Sometimes, anywhere you go, you got to be right here, and you may be listening to what somebody's saying, but they just, yeah, what he said again? Oh, yeah, that's real. All right, yeah, that's what's up. But you're distracted. That's because that's how you sound. You're like, yeah, you laughed hard. Oh, that's exactly me right there. But yo, you're distracted, and that's fair. You have a lot more things than my generation had, than most generations before yours had. So you have to be more aware of your surroundings and say, you know what, maybe I should put this down. Because I can't bring enthusiasm to the room I'm in if I have this phone, it's got me. It's got me. So anything you do from here on out, enthusiasm. And I learned that in high school sports because I went, Coach, I don't know if Coach Adams, he probably doesn't remember. I went to all the Nottingham football games that year. Was on the sideline. Granted, I had my car, I had rims on the tinted windows, and I had a nice leather jacket I bought from Wilson's. The thing was fire. Everywhere I went, I had to match that, it was fire. I was looking fly. But in the inside, I felt, so when I'll be at the games, I'll make a scene. Oh, Gary, let's go. All my friends out there, I was the biggest cheerleader out there. I went at that with enthusiasm because that was the beginning of who I became. That's how I attacked everything in my adult life. Said, I have to attack this. I gotta be like, yo, if I'm doing it, 110%, no half. So anything you do, enthusiasm. When you walk into a room, enthusiasm. People remember it. It will change your life. I'm literally somebody that's, my job right now, I have a business, that I go to different schools and I speak to kids in middle schools. I do assemblies, I go teach about life skills, empathy, all types of different stuff. I have like 213 lessons that I could do. But I don't have a college degree. I went to Mercer County. I had a pseudo scholarship to go to Mercer County for track. Because I threw discus. I told you I was nice in that. Yeah, that was my sport. But I never did it. I never stepped on the track. Because when I got to Mercer County, I got a little loose. And got caught up being cool again. And another thing, being cool is like the most uncool thing you can do. Be yourself. Right? Now I'm myself. I'm comfortable in that. But it took me years to get there. What'd you say? Oh, no. Nah, I'm messing with you. What'd you say? Oh, man, it wasn't me, dog. See, but, yo, I was that guy. And I was not saying you. And I was the guy that was in class just cracking jokes, being funny. Like, that's cool now. But you literally, high school's over in a couple years. You got the rest of your life. And that cool stuff doesn't fly at 25. And at 30, you look stupid. You ever seen a 35, 40-year-old? Yeah, what's up? Like, nah, bro. No, that ain't it. And for you guys moving forward, the thing I'm going to relate to you, the lessons I learned. Enthusiasm, but I didn't learn it in the proper way, technically. But I learned it. Enthusiasm, sacrifice, and what else? Self-awareness. You were listening, my guy. Appreciate y'all. Look, so take that with you. I want y'all all to say it one quick time. Self-awareness. Enthusiasm. What's the other? Sacrifice. My God. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. And I got first for everybody.
All right, guys. Talk to them. Get another bite to eat before they end of school. But our last speaker here has come and shared for us before, and he has, his life has really evolved this past year in a beautiful way. And he also, you guys may not know this because it's been some time since he's been here, but he's also A.D. Adams' son. So our last speaker is Stephen Adams.
I want to first off by thanking Ms. Persichetti again for setting this up, having me back. It's great to be back. It's a fun story for me, and I'll jump into it, but I actually never thought I'd be back here when I left here. So I'll get to that. I want to thank our panelists again. Thank you all for sharing your perspective. I don't know if you guys noticed or heard me back here. I'm taking notes. I'm still trying to learn. All right, I'm never stopping to learn. I'm always trying to myself. So just want to thank you guys for what you've done for not only this group, but our community in general. It's big. With that being said, guys, my name is Stephen Adams. Yes, I'm Coach Adams' son, or A.D. Adams to you guys, but I've created my own name for myself. A lot of that I take pride in, all right? Number one, I graduated class of 14, like I said, played football and basketball. Can tell you was nothing when I was here, okay? Had the ego for it, all right? Had the mentality maybe in my head, but while I played, it didn't carry out the same way. That I can say now. When I was here, you couldn't tell me nothing. I'll tell you straight up. Thought I was the man, thought I had it figured out. That wasn't the case, right? But I didn't really understand that thing. I didn't really get it until I went to college. And at college, I actually went to Albright College first, which is in Reading, PA. And when I got to Reading, PA, I was woke to something totally different. So I played quarterback in high school. I was the quarterback of the state championship team here in 2012. All right, earned that. With that being said, when I got to college, I was in a room with 14 other people in my position. How many quarterbacks play by the way? One, right? So you got 14 dudes in the room. I'm being told I'm going to be the man when I show up. It was nothing like that. So right away, we talk about recruiting, right? That was a culture shock for me. I was like, what happened, man? Like, this is nothing like I thought it was going to be. I messed up in a big way, right? So immediately, I'm switched my position. I got moved from quarterback to receiver, and within my first week of being there, I got a concussion. Got a concussion, knocked me out of school, sent me home. So here we were, I went through this whole recruiting process. I'm watching some of my boys playing D1 ball. I'm thinking I was gonna be there the whole time, wasn't, right? So now I'm back home. I'm working at ShopRite. I'm picking up shifts at 6 o'clock in the morning, bagging people's groceries. Thinking to myself, how did I end up here? Like, where did I go wrong? Because in my head, I've always had this clear vision of a big, like this big picture, right? I'm gonna go D1, I'm gonna be a superstar athlete, I'm gonna get drafted, I'm gonna money, I'm gonna do it big. That was always my plan. And then immediately, as soon as I got to that next level, it was taken. I had nothing. I was right back to square one. So like Chris said, and even I think Bo touched on it, I didn't burn bridges though. I used my network. I used the people I had built and established in my corner. And I found Delaware Valley University. And when I got there in 15, again, here I come in, like, you know, it's a fresh place. I get another opportunity. Let's see what I can make of this. Get moved in my position again. I went from being the quarterback now though to being the punter. How's that sound? Now, the guys who play football will understand that a little more, right? Like, you go from being on the top of the totem pole, essentially, to being like, dog water, for lack of a better term, right? So, right away, it was an ego check for me. And my big picture, my big plan, immediately was crumbling. I said, how am I gonna make something of this? Right? Like, I was a quarterback. That's the most pristine position you can be. If I gotta go to punt, just to play, it's like, where's the fairness in this? And I was looking at myself as a victim. I victimized myself immediately. I said, oh, this happened because of this, that, and the third. It was my work. It was my actions that I ended up there. I simply didn't put the time in. I didn't put the work in. I didn't understand what it took to actually achieve and obtain something. I'm thinking it's just gonna come to me eventually. Like eventually, if I'm just doing it long enough, it'll happen. And that didn't work out with me getting the scholarship, but for some reason, here I am, my first semester back, and I'm thinking that's just gonna happen for me to walk right into the pros. I shouldn't have even been thinking about pros. I should have been just thinking about getting on the field, man, playing, actually getting a down in before I could say, oh, I'm gonna be a professional athlete. So here we are again, go through the process, go through the phase. I'm in the second year at Del Val, I have a mental breakdown. Literally, he can attest to it, mental breakdown in the parking lot. My team won 63-0. Why would I be freaking out? What? I wasn't self-aware. I didn't understand what I was actually dealing with myself. See, I let the ghost that I dealt with here creep up, and all of a sudden I'm hearing murmurs again. Oh, well, you get this because of this guy, or that because of this guy. No, it's not my work. My work's getting unrecognized again. And now I'm not playing on top of it, so we're back to square one. How am I going to get noticed by somebody to reach my ultimate goal? And what I had to stop doing was exactly what Bo said. I had to stop chasing results. I'm over here trying to, get this average, get this hang time, get this distance. Who cares? Honestly, what I needed to start caring about was my team. And just the opportunity that I was being blessed with to be playing college football. Like, people don't understand this, and I forget who has said it up here already, but like, it really doesn't matter what level you go. It matters about the work you put in when you're there. And a lot of people don't understand that. You hear D3 and you're like, oh, he stinks, she stinks. Like, why? That is a college athlete. Maybe they didn't get the same exposure. Maybe they didn't get the same opportunities. Maybe you, who are here, will understand that point. You may not have the same opportunities as everybody. So with that being said, you just got to take advantage and capitalize off the ones you get. And here I was taking another one for granted. So that summer, going into my junior year, I said, I don't care. I'm going to be an All-American. I'm going to make it happen. No, nobody stopped me this year. This is my third year in the role, third year as a starter. I'm going to do this for me, though. I'm not going to do this for everybody else back home talking. I'm not going to do this for my parents. I'm not going to do this for my family, even though, I love them, right? No, I'm going to actually do something for me. Because I need to earn this. I need to show it not only to myself, yes, but to everybody else as well. This is for me. And that's exactly what I went out and did. All-American, junior year. We go into the Elite Eight. It's a great year. I finally got some recognition, right? I put in the time to earn it though. And that's what I really disconnected and missed when I was in high school. I didn't understand the bigger picture in there. That's just one phase of it too. I didn't understand you had to put in work, you had to put in real time, what that actually meant too. When you show up to weight room, when you show up to even class, guys, when you go into the classroom, just being there isn't good enough. Like, it's not your guys' fault, but I'm really shocked that there's not one person here taking notes besides me. How many of you are honestly going to remember everything everybody said? You probably already forgot most of it, if we're being honest. So think about that. All right, getting back to that self-awareness, understanding I'm not a finished product. And even when you get to that point where you may feel like you are, it's still understanding I'm not there yet. There's more things to go after, there's chase to achieve. And then it's marginalizing that. What does real success look like? Being successful on the field, being successful as an athlete, sure, yeah, that matters. But what about being successful in the classroom? What does that look like to you? Have your own individual definitions of those things as well. Like, stop measuring your success with other people's success because they're not you. They're not. And you're not going to be them. It doesn't matter, no matter how you adjust your lifestyle, no matter how you try so hard to be like somebody else, you You are not that person. Be yourself. That was that individuality he was just talking about. And there's a greater feeling of fulfillment there too, right? Because it's your work. Like guys, when I saw I was named as an All-American, I cried my eyes out. I can tear up right now. I mean, it's crazy. The amount of time I put in that. He can tell you again, because he trained me 3 hours a day. Track and field. I'm running track and field. I never did that in my life. Why am I doing it? Get more explosive. We're going right to the gym here, by the way. I did that here, came right back, and we put in the time and the work, and we got what we wanted. So leading that into my senior year, it didn't go the way I thought it was going to go again. Got a little cocky. Not confident, cocky. I'm like, oh, I'm an All-American. Chip on my shoulder, I'm an All-American. I was second team All-Conference that year. Think I was an All-American? No. But it was all mental, right? So when I got out and I graduated, I'm looking at it like, well, I want to play professional. I want my opportunities. I want why I came here to come to fruition. I knew when I went to Del Val what my end goal was going to be. And when I got into the punting position, I understood. Let's be honest. If I could kick the ball 45 yards, 50 yards consistently, does it really matter who's lined up against me? Like as a punter, I'm by myself back there. So I just got to do what I got to do, and that's exactly what I did. But it still led to no opportunities when I graduated. So I went down, found a coach it was a showcase, and I got blessed, man. I came across the right person at the right time. He brings me down to Birmingham, Alabama. I trained there for over a year. I lived there, brought my family down there, lived there. And immediately, man, I'm getting invites to, I was at the USFL Combine just in January, right? I'm gonna be at the XFL Combine in October. I'm getting there. It's not a finished product. I'm only 26 though. Like that's the other thing, man. Remember how young you are. Remember the opportunity you have ahead of you, even just in the next 3 months, 6 months, then a year, all right? Marginalize it down, make it smaller for yourself. See it on the day-to-day. I know where I wanna be. Yeah, I want to be in the NFL. Yeah, I want to be playing ball, making a lot of money. It's just not my time. But it's right now the time, for me at least, it's time to continue to work, continue to better myself as an individual, as a man, as a father now, right? I got my own baby, as a future husband for my fiance, right? I want to be the best version of myself I can be day to day in every component of that. And that ties into the bigger picture, guys. Where do you think, where everything I've said up to this point has been facilitated through sports? That mentality has come through sports, but it's now affecting everything outside of sports. My life was being an athlete. I am a man first though. And that's what y'all gotta remember, you are people first. So as much as important as sports are to you, go and achieve your goals, man. Chase them. Go get it. Why? Who's stopping you? Only you, right? That's what we heard. Only you were stopping you. So go get it. But still be a kid. Enjoy yourself. Have fun. Take the time to be by yourself, maybe. Take the time to spend with your friends. Take the time to spend with your parents. You need that, because it's going to affect up here. But we need to be as clear and concise as we can in our brains first, again, as Tyrone was saying, before you can be even a help to anybody else, whether that's on a field or off a field, whether that's on a court or off a court. You need to find what's going to work best for you to get yourself to the best version of you. Surround yourself with the right people. Make sure you're doing the right things. Making sure fun isn't an excuse. Like, you can have fun and not get arrested. You can have fun and not get in trouble, not get drunk, not do all that extra stuff, right? You can still find ways to have fun. Be smart. Be conscious with your decisions. We're 14 through 18 here, right? Some capacity. So don't make decisions that are now going to take you into when you're 25, 26, 27. Because it never goes away once it's done. It's going to be there forever. So be clear and concise on your day-to-day. Understand, like Grace said, or I think it was Grace, or excuse me, Sarah said, have an agenda, have a routine, and make sure what you're doing in that routine is actually feasible, like something you're going to get out of it. Stop going through the motions. How many people go out and run a route, or do a rep, throw a ball, you're playing lacrosse? Are you really going 110 every single rep? I bet every single person in this room cannot tell me you go 100% on every rep. It's not realistic. But at least try to be at 100%. At least try to meet it. Because it's the effort behind you trying to attempt to get there that's going to make the difference in the long run. Why do you think I was an All-American? Not because, I kicked well. It was the time I put in those 3-hour days. I'll never forget them. I'll never forget them. It was hot. It was tough. My body hurt. but it got me everything I wanted. And that's also, again, tying into this bigger picture main point. It's gonna be worth it. It sounds hard, because it is. That's life, man. That's what we're all telling you up here. It's very difficult day to day. It's not gonna get easier either. This is the easiest time in your life. You got no responsibilities. And if you do, kudos, blessings to you. But this is it, man. So take it in. Take these next couple months for you seniors, the next year for you juniors, the next 2-3 years for you freshmen and sophomores, and maximize your time, man. Don't let it go to waste. There's been too many people to come through these halls, joke around, laugh it up, really enjoyed their time, but did nothing when they left. And there's too much potential. I even know it. Just sitting in this room right now, there's way too much potential for all of you guys to not be going up and getting another opportunity when you're done. And I believe in you. I don't even know most of you. I don't even know most of your names, but I believe in you. Every teacher, every faculty member in this building believes in you. Why? They're here every day. Your teacher who nags you, oh, do this, do this. They're not telling you to do it just to make you do it. They care. See through that. Help your friends see through that. Create a community that doesn't just care about sports and actually applies themselves in the classroom, actually applies themselves with their families. That doesn't come to when y'all are chilling, that isn't just sitting on their phone, right? They're looking at you. Y'all have been looking at me, and I love it. They're looking at you, and you're saying, and you see that it's actually what you're saying and what you're doing is affecting them, and they're doing the same things for you. So, I don't want to talk too much further, all right? What I want y'all to understand is that this is a golden ticket. She was talking about the golden ticket. This is the golden ticket. You get 4 years, free ride, to come through here and make the most of what you can to get wherever you want to go. You want to be a D1 athlete, you've got to put in D1 work. So what does that look like? Okay, I need to go to YouTube. I need to go on Instagram. Stop looking at all this nonsense and actually get some real game. You guys here, you're getting free game up here. That's exactly what this is. That's why I take notes. It's free game. But you gotta care and you gotta want to apply yourself. If we want to do it more than you want to do it for yourselves, you're never gonna get where you want to go. You may hit a ladder under that, you might hit a peg under that, sure. But why? That's not fulfilling. I can tell you, it hurt when I didn't go to D1. It hurt still not having an opportunity. But I'm gonna get it. Because it's gonna be me who creates it. And I'm gonna use everybody I've networked with, everybody I've come in lines with, even if it's just a friend, I'm going to use them the way I need to get me where I need to go. And you guys got to do the same. This is a golden opportunity, man. I wish y'all the best. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, whatever. If you need me as a resource, reach out. I'm always down. Like, I train kids for athletic training, speed training, strength training, whatever. I'm not just football. And I tell you guys that because I'm a resource for you. I am a resource to Nottingham High School. I'm a resource for this community. I want to see you guys go D1. I want to see you guys achieve your dreams. But just don't let me want it more than you. Don't let your family want it more than you. Want it as bad for yourself.
So I'm going to just talk for a couple minutes, and then I just want to tell you what we're doing right after I talk. So I'm going to talk to kind of wrap up the event. Once I've done that, all of the panelists, we're going to quickly go over here and take a picture for the Hamilton Township website. But the bell's probably going to ring while we're taking the picture. Don't run out here, please. If you have to get the bus, maybe. But I want you to, network a little bit, okay? The panelists are going to be here. They're going to be up. They're going to be talking, right? So that's your opportunity to say hi, to get to know someone, to network, to, they stood up here and were so vulnerable with their life, and there's so much value to that. They're teaching you guys, they're inspiring you guys, and they're here because they were once a Northstar. You guys are currently a Northstar. Allow the Northstar community to impact you on your life journey, because that's what's happening right now. And when you leave here, you want to go and you want to make better decisions as a result of it. Because in the end, maybe there will be a day when you can come back and you can share what your life journey turned into because of the result of discipline and hard work and purpose and building a positive community around you and putting out positive things out into the world. So there's a lot to come from this. So first, I would like to thank all the panelists so much. They come out here and they volunteer their time. You know, I reach out to them and they are so excited every year to come back and to share with you guys. Their passion inspires me. So I thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart, seriously. So if I owe you this t-shirt, stay, all right? Also stay to network and stuff. You gotta stay anyway till 4 minutes because it's other from yet. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get that picture. And you guys can feel free to take pictures with some alumni if you want to.